Hello everybody, I'm up to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. You already know who I am. West Ham have beaten Sheffield United 1-0, so I'm very happy that Hal has agreed to come on from the Sheffield United Way. Hal, thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy I agreed to come on.
Yes.
Not at all. I'm actually devastated. I'm trying to keep it all in and maintain some form of professionalism, but realistically, I don't even want to say it out loud, but I feel like Sheffield United are down. We had to win that game. We've had our hard games, and we've lost them all. Then we had on paper a winnable game, West Ham at home. You know, West Ham haven't beaten the Blades at Bramall Lane for a long, long time. I think last time Jeff Hurst got 2 goals. You know, last time West Ham actually beat us before today was my birthday, 25th of November 2006. Now they've beaten us just before my birthday, 2020. And there's no team I hate more than West Ham. So, yeah, it's rubbish.
Oh God, I wish I know ask now, but yeah, like I mean, when I did the preview for the game, I didn't write Sheffield United off because I do think all season you have created chances. I know you're not taking the chances that you really need, but to be fair, for the first 10 minutes you were all over us, and I just thought it's going to be one of them games. Sheffield United are going to nick something.
I mean, if you think we were all over you, I've got to say that was our worst performance of the season. Yeah, it was our most lacklustre. Our best performance of the season was Liverpool away, and Blades don't mind losing. As fans, we do not mind losing if we give a good effort and play well. We'll take that. We didn't play well against West Ham. We didn't really ever look, apart from that McBurney chance, look like threatening. I always felt if I was West Ham, I'd be quite comfortable. Really, you guys missed a lot of chances yourselves and could have scored more and attacked us down the flanks and made Max Lowe look absolutely pedestrian.
Yeah, to be fair, a few times because we have Fornals, and a lot of us were saying before, why are we starting Fornals over Ben Rama? And I think today it kind of showed if we'd had Ben Rama down that side, we could have created a lot more. We missed a lot as well. Souček in the first half, normally it gets on target, but he's just absolutely sliced it. It was a huge point for us. I mean, when Haller scores that blinding goal. We changed it up a little bit in the second half, Bowen getting a bit closer to Haller. Was it a surprise for you that West Ham managed to get that? Because even though we were creating chances, we were missing quite a few as well.
I think we all were kind of hoping Haller would start over Antonio because he hasn't hit the ground running. Haller's been very much like Ollie McBurney has for us, an expensive signing who divides the fans and doesn't score quite as many goals as he should. McBurney, Haller, missed his chance. Haller took his, and I don't think McBurney could score a goal like Haller's today. I thought it was an exceptional finish. Ramsdale gets a hand to it. It all came from Ramsdale's clearance, although I'm not blaming Ramsdale. You know, you don't pass the ball back to the player on your team who has the worst distribution and then blame him for distributing it badly. You know, he did distribute it badly. It came straight back at him. He got a hand to it, Ramsdale, but it wasn't enough. And I'm not really blaming him for not saving that. It was a mesmeric goal, one that if I'd ever hit, would be very, very proud of.
I was surprised, mate. I was actually surprised Haller hit the shot, finished it as well, because he has looked better for West Ham, actually. You know, since the Fulham game, he's a bit more composed. In that game, some of his touches were working. We did look lively. I thought Jared Bowen played quite well as well today. And I said in my preview that was likely if you've got Lowe and Baldock pushing up, West Ham will find space. But that's why, albeit I know you're disappointed with the result and the performance, but I did think when you start pushing those players forward, you've got Basham as well getting forward. It's a bit nervous, particularly in those last 20. I thought maybe Sheffield United could nick something.
Yeah, you're spot on. And actually, Chris Wilder, he gets the lowest rating of anyone today because Wilder doesn't normally make mistakes. He's a fantastic manager. He's the best in my lifetime that the Blades have ever had. But you mentioned Basham. Basham was probably our best player today. He gets forward. You're absolutely right. He's a centre-back. It was his 250th league appearance today, and he was causing problems, and we take him off. And Blades fans love Basham, and he gets taken off all the time. He never puts a foot wrong. He's always solid, and Blades fans hate John Lundstrom. Well, because he wants away. He doesn't want to sign a new contract. We like his ability. He scores goals and he's a threat. He was second top goal scorer last season and a fantasy football legend. But he doesn't want to play for us. So we don't want him. If you don't want to play for the Blades, there's plenty of people that do. Get shot.
Yeah, I mean, that was the surprise for me because I know you had a few injuries before the game and I see the lineup come, oh no, Fleck's back, Sander Berg's back, who for me is your best player. Mm-hmm. Egan come back at the back, which I thought meant you would have been a little bit more solid. I thought you were solid at points, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know, I mean, Sheffield United just lacked a little bit of a cutting edge, and even when you started throwing on Lundstrom and then you put Brewster on, which I thought West Ham struggled so badly with pacing behind previously in the past few games West Ham have conceded from that. Did you think it ever could turn with Brewster coming on?
I thought Brewster was the wrong sub. Brewster's looked awful since we've signed him. I want to give the lad a chance, and I will. I'll back him 100%. But we all recognised, and Wilder didn't, and that's why I say Wilder gets the worst rating, that West Ham's area that we could have exploited, Ogbonna and Valbuena, and your defence is pace. And we didn't start with our pacey players. Our pacey player, like Ollie Burke, is just pace. That's all he is. He's raw pace. He's got pace to burn. And we didn't even bring him on. I couldn't understand that. I think most players would have started him. And if not start him, bring him on for McBurney. Because we all love David McGoldrick. Even though he doesn't score many goals, he's started better this season. But he creates and he drops back and he just makes things happen. But right at the end, he had a chance to play McBurney in and Brewster, and he hit it straight at the keeper. Yeah,
I was having a nightmare those first 10 because he kept playing that switch ball to Baldock. And Masuaku just switched off. Like I think Moyes set up very much to push the wing backs on, but we couldn't. And sometimes, and I think we eventually cottoned onto it and we started creating a little bit more. But like you say, I think, McGoldrick comes kind of to the wing, tries to create things as well. It's such an odd formation for Sheffield United. And I don't know what's happened this season where maybe teams have sussed it out a little bit more. But I want to know your thoughts on it. Is it frustrating to see it constantly, or would you like it to change?
I mean, it would be nice to switch it up a little, because I don't think teams have sussed it out. I think we're not playing it anymore the way we were previously because we're missing Jack O'Connell. So Jack O'Connell on the left hand of that centre-back position, he gets forward, bombs down the left and creates so many problems. When he does that, Basham sits back. At the moment, we've just got the right-hand side attacking. We try to attack with Ampadu and Lowe, but Lowe is not very good at professional football, so that is a hindrance. Ampadu did his best, but then he got injured. Ampadu did the best passable Jack O'Connell impression that we've seen since Jack O'Connell's been out, but he's our Van Dijk, except that we've got a smaller squad, so unlike Liverpool, we can't cope with a Van Dijk-esque player being out. It is massive. Fleck first came back, and he wasn't 100% fit, but when he is back 100% fit, he and Sander Berge, who you mentioned is our best player, they will pull the strings in midfield. Ollie Norwood hasn't been the same player that he was, but I think the thing that frustrates Blades fans the most is we've got a goal machine in our squad. He's our captain, and he's already scored this season, and he wasn't even on the bench today. Billy Sharp.
Yeah, that's a strange one for me as well. I really rate Billy Sharp. He's obviously got that finishing ability. You just don't see a lot of him for Sheffield United these days.
No, and he's a blade, so he dies for the cause. He hates West Ham as much as all of us. It hurts him, because when he wasn't playing for us, whenever he wasn't playing, he was on the terraces with us watching the Blades. It's his dream to have played for us, and when he does, he gives everything every single game, and when he scores, it's just like all of us in the stands. He properly loves it, and he's not one of these footballers that says, I always supported the club, it's great to play for them, blah blah blah. He really did. He was always in the stands watching us when he wasn't playing, and you just want to see him, because the rest of the players, I don't think it hurts them as much, but he really cares. It's a shame not to see him involved. He can still do it. He can still score. Okay, he's a poacher, but so is Brewster. But the difference is, Billy at the moment gives us more than Brewster.
Do you think with the Sheffield United side, is it a mentality thing at this point? Because you're not picking up points, you are struggling. Obviously, there are key injuries, so that's fair enough. Do you think the squad the heads are going down a little bit at this stage, and it's a massive concern as a fan?
It's another good point, because it'd be easy to say that it's key injuries, but there wasn't key injuries last season. It's the restart. It's since the restart we've been naff. We haven't won a game for over 5 months. 5 months. That is relegation form. This started long before the start of this season. We have been bad since the restart. We got some great wins that papered over the cracks against Wolves, Tottenham and Chelsea. The last win was Chelsea. But it was like exactly that, papered over the cracks, because there was also games where we were dreadful. Aston Villa when we first came back, Burnley away. We just weren't playing the Sheffield United way. O'Connell, we now know, was playing through injury during those games, and that didn't help him. That set him back. He's probably going to be out for the whole season. Awful. We just can't afford to be without him. But I think it's a collective. We miss the fans more than any other club. Sheffield United are missing their fans. We really are a 12th man. It's a bit like Upton Park with the chicken run. It used to be proper intimidating. When I used to go to Upton Park as a fan, you really felt it. We've still got that, because we've got one of the oldest stadiums in the world in Bramall Lane. It's close to the pitch, and we really make it intimidating for fans and players of the opposition. We haven't got that at the moment.
Yeah, it's an interesting point because in the stream that was mentioned, are Sheffield United really struggling without that man? In some ways, I think West Ham are actually benefiting. I know our fans get behind the team, but there isn't that pressure sometimes, particularly with the ownership at West Ham. I won't go too much into it, but it does get toxic. And you do feel that sometimes it can affect the players. For some reason, West Ham are thriving this season. And then before we started the season, I thought we were shooing for relegation, but the system works. Is there anything about West Ham's performance you were impressed with today? Or I know you hate West Ham, but in terms of an impartial view.
Well, I mean, I hate what happened with West Ham. I mean, the signing of two players. I don't hate Tevez, I don't hate Mascherano. I do dislike your owners, and I do dislike the way that they've run the club, and I do dislike the way the Premier League handled 2006-07 season when West Ham were docked money, not points, when we play for points. That's my gripe. I don't hate the current West Ham team. They're nothing to do with it. So I would say I was able to watch this game totally without that out of my mind, and I never really think about that. So this current West Ham side is really good. I love Koufal and Souček. I think they are two of the under-the-radar signings that were made that other clubs weren't looking at, and they have both hit the Premier League running, and they will go on to just get better and better. Souček in particular, I know he missed a chance today, but he's a fabulous player. I mean, the first time I really properly watched him, he actually scored an own goal, but he still had a wonderful game. So he's impressed me every single time. I think most neutrals like Mikel Antonio, who I know wasn't involved today. He did play for Sheffield Wednesday, so it's really hard for us to like him. And bizarrely, he was like a right back for Wednesday, and now he's West Ham's best striker. Strange times, but it's a strange season. I think overall, West Ham, Declan Rice, obviously future England star. There's a lot to like, which I hate to say. I think Ogbonna is fantastic. Aaron Cresswell, he reminds me so much of Ender Stevens because he is a left back converted to a centre back, which Ender Stevens has had to be. He gets up and down. He's got tremendous ability. He's probably the paciest you've got at the back. Yeah, there's a lot to like, and I thought West Ham today fully deserved the win. Should have scored more.
Yeah, 100%. I think if we'd had Mikel Antonio in this side, I think we would have scored. I think we just needed him in that last 20. All of a sudden, West Ham kind of sat back a bit. I thought Haller run out of gas. He looked absolutely spent. Still some very bizarre decisions from David Moyes, albeit we did get the win. Bringing on Lanzini on the left wing was a bit irrational, and I would have thought Ben Rama would have been the perfect guy to have brought on. But yeah, it was nervy. It was nervy in the end. I think West Ham played well in general. Declan Rice was superb for me. I thought he was the man of the match. Still controlled the game at times. He goes under the radar a lot, and a lot of fans sort of say he's overrated, but I think he's just superb. I think he really will just get better and better.
He's like the Jordan Henderson, isn't he, of Liverpool? Because a lot of fans think that he's overrated, and he's the Makelele, he's the battery to your watch, and without him, you really notice the difference. And because he's going to be full of confidence after scoring for England, you know, he'll only get better because he does the simple things really well. I think what neutral fans like about Antonio is he's a scorer of great goals.
Yeah, that goal against Manchester City, I still love it. We missed him. It was one of the things when he first got injured. I was like, no, we can't do without Antonio. And like you said, you know, he played right back for Sheffield Wednesday. He's played right wing back for West Ham, right back, right midfield, left wing, centre forward. He's kind of like a man of many trades, but he's found that perfect position up front now. And we need him back in the side, particularly when we've got Villa, Man United, Leeds coming up. It's going to be tough games. Yeah,
he's also super strong as well. He's everything you want in a striker, and he's really come on leaps and bounds. I don't think anyone saw his career when you were watching him at Reading or Sheffield Wednesday, taking the trajectory that it has. But, you know, lucky for you guys. And you've also got, when he comes back, Yarmolenko as well, who's a player that hasn't really shown everything that I believe he's got as well.
Yeah, he's a strange one, Yarmolenko. Obviously, he got COVID-19 when he went on the international break. So we missed an option off the bench. Before I let you go, Hal, I'm going to ask you about obviously Sheffield United moving forward. I know it's tough because you've only got 1 point at the moment, but are you looking at the next run of fixtures and thinking we definitely need 3 points in most of them? Are you looking at January and thinking we need to bring someone in as well?
We've got a big squad now. We spent a lot of money. I mean, we sold Dominic Calvert-Lewin for peanuts and then spent £43 million on Brewster and McBurney, and you kind of think maybe we should have just kept Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Other blades would say we needed to sell him at the time to bring in other players, and you could absolutely argue that, and it's of course a very valid point. I think it's just hard now when you see ex-blades who are doing so well and you think, God, I really wish we still had them. We needed to win this game today. I'm so gutted. We couldn't even draw this game. It wasn't an option. We had to win. Now we've got West Brom next. Got to win that game. Now, because we didn't win this game, we've got to win a game we weren't expected to win. So we've got to go to Leicester and win. We've got to beat Southampton. These are the next games coming up. It's going to be Incredibly tough. And one thing I think all Blades would say is we just can't see where a goal is coming from. We look completely goal shy. And we were last season, but we weren't letting them in.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? Like, I remember last season, you would, beating Chelsea by 3 goals. You were just scoring goals for fun at point. I mean, with someone like Chris Wilder, and I know he's done magnificently for Sheffield United. I thought he was one of the managers of the season last year.
Definitely.
At what point does he become under pressure? Because he's obviously got that affinity with the fans. Are you willing to give him a lot of time he needs in order to turn this around?
I am. We could get no points the rest of the season. I wouldn't sack him. Number of reasons. He's a Blade, so I love him. Number 2, if you didn't have Chris Wilder as your manager, you'd want Chris Wilder as your manager. Because if we go down, he's got a proven track record of getting teams back up. So it makes no sense to me to get rid of him. Who else is better out there that's unemployed that would actually come to Sheffield United? We can't think of managers like Pochettino. He's not going to come to us. So then you're fishing in a very small pool, and there's no one better than Wilder. So any fans that want him out, no, he'll turn this around. We just need to, as you said earlier, is it time to change formation? Yeah, it probably is. Let him do that. He will.
Yeah, listen, I know there's a bit of animosity, Sheffield United, West Ham, but I honestly hope you turn it around because I love the way Sheffield United play at points. I did think they put us under a little bit of pressure today. I know, a bit disappointing for you, but Hal, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Everyone that's watching, make sure you like and subscribe to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. And until next time, take care.